There we
Uh,
are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Frames of Shame show, hosted by Five Pin Universe. My name is Isaac. It's my first appearance here. I am, I guess, the founder of this shit show known as Frames of Shame. I'm joined by my glorious co-hosts Ashton and Christian. Say hello, boys.
What's up, guys?
Up, guys.
Yeah, just enjoying tonight going into the weekend. TPC, we have two guests joining us throughout the night. Looking forward to everything. And you guys excited for this week?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to not coming last place. Hopefully,
The goal, beat your brother's placement at the Autumn Open. And
yeah, exactly. Also, I appreciate Carrie for instead of moving our show out of the way of the TPC preview, for just having us on right before
Yeah.
TPC.
20, not even 24 hours before the first shift, and we're gonna let the 3 people that should not be hosting that week host.
Exactly.
So, thank
The
you
most
very
professional
much.
show.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're really helping people get in the zone here.
Prepping everybody ready for the week. Yeah. Christian's not going to be here for the full show.
Nope.
He's leaving in about 30-ish minutes, I believe.
Yep, we got physio in 45 minutes. So
How's that going?
It's going pretty good. Like, obviously, like in the last show I was talking about like how I don't know like my bowling status, but we've gotten to a point where I'm good to go with bowling as long as I'm like taped up and have my the arm brace that my physiotherapist got me, and we're actually bowling pretty all right now, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Painless or
Almost
A little
painless,
bit.
maybe like a 2 out of 10. Like,
that's
I don't know. I
way
don't.
better
I don't.
than what you were saying it was before. So
Yeah, I don't notice it while I'm bowling, and then afterwards I just gotta, work on my arm a bit.
I can't wait until I start
good.
my physio. I hope it makes a big difference because we're bowling with a lot of pain right now.
Am I in a call with like senior citizens right now? Like, is everybody just crippled?
You're telling me you don't have pain when
Yeah,
you
like-
bowl?
Not to the level where I think physio's the fix.
I
feel
think
like
we're
you-
just built like twigs. So
I think
Yeah, that's also
we
kind
need
of
some
reasonable.
protein. Brett Mapstone
Yeah.
was giving me a lot of steroid recommendations to make me gain weight
Oh,
the
that's
other day
good.
at league. I don't think my mom was very impressed, but you gotta do what you
He
gotta
was
do.
just looking out for you.
Yeah,
Brett
he's trying to help
Brett has
your
us in his
bowling
best
career.
interest.
Yeah. Oh my. You guys are Christian. You're bowling a shift.
Yep, we're bowling Saturday morning.
The worst shift. Ashton, you are not bowling.
No, just doubles. Just the serious event we're doing.
Serious one.
Bowling
And
with-
Isaac.
Oh yeah, I'm one shift guaranteed. I got doubles locked. It's a guaranteed win at this point on doubles.
Oh, okay.
And then, worst case scenario, I 2 shifted.
Okay.
I look forward to spectating bowling the whole weekend. It's gonna be fun. I'm not in the mental state or physical state right now to do it 8 games.
There's a
Money on it, so-
Scott Barber seminar going on right now.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure Carrie
mental games.
recommended you to join that one.
Tim and Carrie.
Yeah, they both. Pretty sure they were talking about that one on the last episode. Maybe they're
So it is.
recording the seminar for you, and we'll like get a little preview of it.
I'll watch the Zoom recording.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'll watch it on 2 times speed though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. We had to film a podcast.
Yeah, we have priorities that
exactly.
need to get done.
People rely on us.
Yeah, no,
No, we
it's their only
We are
source
the-
of entertainment on a Wednesday night.
Pretty sure we are the foundation of 5-pin bowling actually at this point.
Pretty much. Yeah, do we want to... Well, our guest isn't here yet, but do we want to...
I'm just letting the guests know they can join whenever.
Perfect.
Awesome. Let's
They'll be here in a moment.
That's good. How's everyone doing tonight? Also, we're doing another giveaway, so again, leave a comment saying you're going to join the giveaway. We're having another marble race, so you don't want to miss out on that. Carrie got us some of the merch today, so we don't have any on us right now to show, but it looks pretty nice and it feels pretty nice. You don't want
Oh,
to miss out on it. You want a chance to. Oh,
all
there we go.
right. There we go. I'm just gonna straight add them.
All right.
And then yeah, here we go. Hello,
Are we not gonna
Kayla.
introduce them first? Yeah.
No, they're just getting straight brought in.
Hi.
Our first guest of the evening, Kayla Harasimchuk.
Mhm.
It's changed.
The reason why there was a good run at the Autumn Open behind somebody right here, the head of the household. Kayla, how are we doing tonight?
Oh, well, you kind of segued into it. Jeremy finished at the top, and I was right there at the bottom. So someone had to do it. It just happened to be me. It was not a good tournament for me anyway. But
You had fun, right?
I had fun. I had
That's-
There
fun.
you go.
Exclusively what matters.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, yes. I guess I didn't introduce the theme of the night. So yes, the theme of the night is people who come out to events, throw shifts, but are nowhere's near
Try
the
to word it nice.
qualifying
Try to word it
line.
nicely.
They're just coming out for fun.
The vibes, I was told. The vibes.
Yes, the pure energy.
Yep.
That's pretty
that
much
is me.
as of right now. That's pretty much all four of us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're
You know what? Sometimes you just throw an 8-game shift, and you're like, "Wow, I crushed my average. I'm feeling good." And then sometimes you just go and you get destroyed by that average, and that's exactly what happened last month. So TPC is hopefully going to be my revenge tour.
last year during my one shift, I was like, oh yeah, I averaged pretty good, and I look at the sheet and I'm like midway. So yeah, it's a little bit of a confidence destroyer, but you just got to get better.
Yeah. Well, that's why you
So-
bowl these, right? At least that's why I bowled them. It's hopefully to get better. I was also recommended to go to the Scott Barber thing tonight, but
This is way
here
more
we are
important.
tonight.
Exactly.
We're gonna help.
Everyone's just ditching it.
yeah. Jeremy, my husband, was just like, "I think this would be good for you," and I was like, "Oh,
The podcast or the seminar?
the seminar."
Obviously, the seminar, Ashton. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, look, okay, I'm literally just saying, I'm at the bottom, you guys. I'm at the bottom. Find me there.
Oh my. Okay, so Kayla, what's like your mindset coming into like most of these cash events? Because I've now seen you at 2 this year. So what's the mindset coming into it?
Yeah, so since I started dating Jeremy, I like watched him bowl these all the time. I was like, okay, I'm not there at all. Like, that's a lot of money. I at the time had maybe a 195 average, maybe 200. And I was just like, maybe one day. And then the last few years, I started to get into competitive bowling, and I don't bowl them to make a cut. That is not my goal yet. I will say yet, but it is for me to try and get better. Obviously, I made that joke about having to go to that Scott Barber mental toughness seminar, which is what I need. When I first tried out for the Open, it was like the physical game that like shut me down. I think it was like around game 16 on the second day. I was just like, my body said, nope, no more. Like, you are done. And you could see it in my scores. And so I finally like got the physical thing going on, even though the noodle arm comes out every once in a while. But now I'm just trying to bowl them for the mental game. So when I go in there, I just go to try and focus my mind, which can sometimes be hard for me. Anyone that's bowled with me or near me on these tournaments, I end up going in the mental blender a lot, which is what I call it. But yeah, that's always my goal, is to not approach it as, okay, I need to throw 270 average. It's, how can I try and focus to better myself and maybe get a personal best this time?
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Oh yeah.
What's is that that's the same mindset going into this one?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah, obviously I have a shadow from the Autumn Open, because I think my highest of my 2 shifts was like 1690. Like, it was sad. It was a sad day. But I think my personal best is like a 1957, which if you've seen me bowl in the last few years, you're like, what? We've improved a lot. So that's what I'm going to try and aim for and now I think I've gotten a little bit more consistent, that I'm trying to shoot to consistently bowl 1850s, but it doesn't always happen. So sometimes you just have to laugh.
Are you more confident now that it's at Sherwood, where you've like been bowling for the past 2 years mostly, or is it not much of a difference when you go to a different alley.
I have a love-hate relationship with short ball, as I feel like everyone does, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like things have improved for me personally this year. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's funny because yeah, I can be confident because I bowl decent on Sundays with you guys, or like my Thursday nights go okay, but the conditions are always different, and that's also what I also need to keep in mind, because previous times I've gone and I practice and I throw amazing in practice, and then when the day comes and I'm like, well, my ball isn't moving the way that it was in practice. Well, no duh, it's changed since I practiced. So just take it with the day.
Definitely have been throwing good in leagues. I know every time I play you, it's like a 260, and I'm in just a struggle most of the time.
Except for this week.
Yeah, except for this week on I
where you bullied
did
me.
throw like
That was really rude.
Okay, well, had to happen, but we needed the team total. But
yeah, I heard. Well, you had the bet going with Brett, so
yeah, no, I needed my $20. I couldn't.
This
my
is
bet
imaginary
beat
bet,
me.
guys. Imaginary.
Imaginary,
$20.
Yeah,
it was
imaginary bet.
gamble.
Monopoly money.
We
Monopoly
don't
money.
gamble.
Yeah.
It was Monopoly money.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It
Couldn't
was
lose
just
to Brent.
motivation.
Yeah. Ego would not let me lose to that, man.
Trash talks too much. You can't not win against him.
Yeah, no. So Kayla, what makes you want? Oh, sorry. Outside of the mental like aspect of coming back to all these events, like what makes you come down to like? So this season so far, you've done Beef Bowl, Calgary, and now TPC. You're coming out to a lot of events this year.
Yep.
What outside of the mental aspect, what draws you to the events?
Well, I mean, as much as I'm not very good at it, I actually really love bowling. Even though I also talk about how much I hate this game. But aside from that, I have really built a community within the community, as weird as that sounds. I know there's like a group of us that during like the pandemic, we all got together and we played Mario Kart online. And so we call ourselves the COVID Cuppers. And most of us are either like from Edmonton or there's like a big group from Saskatchewan. So knowing that I get to see those players and those friends at these tournaments is also like, I get so excited. Like we have Danny and Sarah Bayer that are coming to stay with us this weekend, and along with like Marcello as well as staying with us. So just knowing that we also get to maybe have fun bowling, but also more so have fun with our friends is also why I love and look forward to all of these events.
Definitely a solid.
You know, these events are really good to see other people.
Mhm.
With everybody flying out from all over the country. It's talked about all the time, but still, it's nice seeing people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Kayla, what's favorite tournament you've ever competed in? Youth up to your
Ooh.
current
I
competitive.
mean, even youth, I was like good, but not great. You know, like I've made it to provincials, but I've never gone like beyond provincials. I've done like youth challenge, which I think is why I'm like so motivated to try and better myself for the open, because I remember how I felt bowling youth challenge when I was younger, and like the teams that I was on then, and getting to be even closer with a group of people that I'm very fortunate to like bowl with on Sundays and bowl with on Thursdays, and most of like my whole Thursday night league team has made an open team at one point. So like just hearing their stories and like going out and watching Jeremy makes me get excited to maybe see that in the future. But now as an adult, the cash tournaments are just so different. I would say probably my favorite is Red Deer, and Beef Bowl actually is up there too, just because of the configuration of the lanes and like its proximity to the hotel. Beef Bowl has a ball pit, which is so much fun.
It actually has a ball pit. I
It
didn't
has
know.
a ball pit.
Ball
It
pit
has
and
a
like a
ball
full
pit.
jungle
That's
gym
why
inside.
Connor was pushing the ball pit idea so
Yeah.
hard last podcast.
It was yeah, they had like a little indoor like play area. It was super fun. Me and Maddie Jenkins went and took like a little nap. We had a power nap in the ball pit. So
That's
like
awesome.
I'm in. You know, there's a ball pit, I'm there. So
I think Sherwood should be taking some notes here.
I think so too.
I mean, they have
Check
a
out
whole
the
back
arcade
room that would be
games.
perfect for a big ball pit. So
They got the space. I'm just saying.
I do.
I don't
Maybe
think
next
Tim
year,
likes
Tim?
most of our suggestions, but I think we could probably harass
Tim
him
was
into
the one who
getting a ball
suggested
pit.
strippers last podcast, so
Yeah, that is true.
That's not surprising.
I mean, he has his priorities straight, like strippers, ball pit, like
He's got mixed expectations of his bowling alley, but I respect the determination. Oh my. No,
I don't know
we
how
can't.
Scott would feel about the strippers, but
Yeah, no, Scott and Wendy might not be fan favorites of the.
That might be the line. That might be the
Yeah,
line.
Tim and Dexter will probably enjoy the backroom strip club.
if
but
that's
the other,
if that's what the line is, they could do a bunch of stuff still. So
yeah, they
Yeah.
have a lot of room to get there.
Well, yeah, so many opportunities. Just saying. Suggestion box at TPC, maybe.
mhm. That'd be a good idea.
The ball pit. Okay. There we go, Dexter.
You can buy them off Amazon, really. Get here by
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we could just build our own for Sunday.
yeah, we'll walk in tomorrow. I'll bring up like an inflatable ball pit.
During the finals, a big U-Haul truck is gonna show up.
Yeah, and just dump balls into the.
It's all quiet, and there's just us in the back carrying a bunch of garbage bags in. Full of
Okay.
balls.
Yeah, Kayla, goal for the weekend. Like what total are you hoping for? Like what would make you super happy if you threw this weekend?
Super happy.
Outside of even if it is qualifying, like what total? What
Listen,
8
I
game?
know my reality. Okay. But like super happy would be another 1950. I think I would be ecstatic with that. At this point, anything above a 690, which I feel I can do. Last
Yeah.
time I bowled TPC, I think I threw my 1957. So it's hard to put a number on because sometimes I throw a good ball and the pins just don't. Yeah. Or like a few of my autumn open games, I just went like strike head pin, strike head pin, strike head pin, and it's a terrible pattern. And obviously you're not going to score well. So, and Jeremy likes to remind me, and he's right, that that like I shouldn't always make a number my target. Maybe it's like, oh, I am trying to clean up more wood on the lane, make sure that I'm leaving less pins on the deck, or trying to convert more spares. So I do have a number because bowling is a numbers game, but also my goal is to leave less pins on the deck and get more spare conversions because those are important.
Yes.
As long as I still think you would have qualified if you just 3-shifted Autumn Open. I think I told you like 20
No.
times, just 3-shifted. Are you 2-shifting this weekend?
I am 2-shifting this weekend.
Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to do Friday afternoon. And then I am signed up. Well, I'm on the wait list, but Saturday morning, which we'll see how it goes because I am bowling doubles with my husband on the Friday night. So
It's
we'll
just
see how that goes.
sounds like a lot of bowling in a short time frame.
I love bowling. I wish I was better at it.
Me too.
But if
We
you
all-
love it
I think
enough
all of
and
us
you
here-
bowl enough, you will get better.
Right? That's the spirit. That's the attitude.
Yeah, you just dedicate more and more time.
Yeah. I am lucky
is
to
true.
be able to have a means that allows me to bowl 2 shifts now that I'm like an adult with adult money. But
Dexter, I do think you're right. You
Yeah.
don't know you're 2-shifting. You can make it in one, Kayla. We believe in you. You have everybody supporting
Yeah,
you.
why throw
You're
away
gonna
the
throw,
first
like,
shift?
2,500. You're locked. I think that's a safe bet.
listen, anything's possible.
100% that is.
Are any of your high school students watching this right now?
No, God, no. the only high school student that knows I bowl is because she's a bowler herself.
Oh,
And that's
really?
Miss Kaylee
Okay.
Mack. Yeah, that's Miss Kaylee Mack.
Oh, okay.
High school student.
Well,
Kaylee's
not anymore. She
Yeah.
was when I was on my practicum. She was my student. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember we ran into each other. We both did a double take. Like, what are you doing here? And yeah, gone since then. Now she's 22, and she likes to remind me.
Well, as much as we're talking about what our expectations are for this weekend, we have 2 other bowlers here who are doing a shift that also haven't made a cut before. So
yeah.
you two, what are your guys' expectations and like hopes for this
So-
weekend? If we want to get into that.
I'll let Isaac go first.
since I am not paying for my own shift, I'll be happy with a 2,000 or higher.
Is it a Kim sponsor?
No, it's a father sponsor.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think 2,000, I'll be happy. I think I'll be happier if anyone else within like our group qualifies.
I'd say there's a pretty good chance that happens.
Yeah, I think we got a solid roster lined up.
Jerry threw good last week at League.
Oh my gosh,
Practice the
he's
other
been
day
going
wasn't
so
as
well.
great.
Yeah, he ditched our podcast. He was supposed to be on tonight, but he straight up said like, "There's no point when I'm gonna win." Like he's like, "I'm not
Yeah.
even coming on. Like I'm gonna win this weekend. I shouldn't even need to be on here." And then
You know
he just
what?
said, "I'm not coming."
If he bowls like he did on
Just-
Sunday,
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
could.
Make sure everybody remembers that Jared did say that.
Yeah,
I think honestly that's a better reason than the other reason, the real reason. So
yeah.
Yeah,
So we're gonna stick with that one.
Not expose
Yeah.
not expose him.
Christian, what are your expectations
So-
coming into?
Last year at TPC, I shot 2,000 on the dot, and I was kind of having like I didn't really throw any bad games, but I started with a 206. So I feel like if I started with a bit of a higher game, I would have had a better chance at like placing a bit higher. But honestly, like right now, I'm kind of feeling it. Like at my last practice, and even at like League, I was able to figure some stuff out, and I feel pretty confident in my shot. So I'm not gonna set a limit to what I can do at this tournament.
that's good. That's good. Definitely your feelings towards your shot and your bowling right now have definitely changed over like the start of the year when you were
Well,
in pain and barely able to
I
throw a
didn't-
ball. So that's good.
I
That's
didn't
very
know
good
if-
improvement.
I didn't even know if I was gonna bowl. Like I couldn't bowl the
Yeah.
Autumn Open. It was very like obviously I was down there watching, and it was still a blast to watch. But I was still like I wanted to bowl. Like at one point when like the tournament ended, I walked up to the foul line and just like stared down the pins, and I was like, next year, guys.
I'm gonna
Talking
say,
to them. Do they
say-
speak back?
No, the pins do not speak back.
just to let it be known to everybody watching how much Christian Murphy loves bowling. We could not wake him up on the Sunday morning. And to wake him up, we turned the lights on. We were yelling at him, lights directly above his head, nothing. We had a pin. We knocked it over. It made the noise that like they all make when they fall. And this guy rose like the Undertaker from his sleep and was just so alert the second he heard a pin.
I was just ready to watch bowling. Like I knew that was my calling. Like
Hell, dude.
what
The
can
man
I
is more
what can I say?
dedicated to the
Like,
game than anybody I know.
It's a
Curious.
not as much as I want to be with school and all, but I'm still glad I'm able to.
Just drop
Do-
out.
to-
You
to-
don't need it.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna be-
Kayla's advice.
Yeah, drop out.
yeah, the teacher, yeah.
Yeah,
like
it was great advice on Sundays. Pretty sure she said school's not important. Drop out.
I've been getting this wrong because
Yeah.
people have been telling me that like school and bowling is like down here, but like
No, it's
bowling
the
needs to
other
be
way.
up there. Yeah,
It's
They
like
just switch it around.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like-
like
bowling's up here, family's down here.
I think you need to start like bowling 8 hours a day instead of studying 8 hours a day, Christian.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll just what if I'll build a lane on campus, like I'll put it up in the study area, and people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Studying."
Study.
As he's
Studying.
practicing his form.
Yeah.
Oh my. All right, Kayla, who do you think's winning this weekend? Who's everyone's predictions?
Are we
Actually,
doing
I
every
saw-
event here?
I think just the main
Just the
event.
main.
I actually saw a really good prediction online from ROC, which was Will Thompson. I actually do like that. But I think I got to go with my husband, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's,
Can't
that's
bet
a
against
solid
him.
pick.
The one point we're on the redemption revenge tour. 1 point.
If you have you ever bowled against him at a major tournament?
Okay, not against him, but I would just like to point out that he bullies me when we make little, like, we go, oh, the loser has to buy a coffee. And last time we did that, I threw like a 293 or 98. Great game by yours truly. I lost by 90 pins. 90. The one time we said a loser had to buy a Slurpee and he threw a 400 against me. So I don't know. I don't know.
He just really likes his Slurpees.
Yeah,
It's a good strategy though.
beat
If
me
you,
into the ground.
What would be your mindset if you happen to both make the cut and match against each other in the bracket?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
We talked about this kind of on
Yeah.
Sunday. One, I really am motivated to beat him because I only ever lose against him.
Those are bragging rights for a while. You could hold
Yeah.
it. You could hold that over his head for a little bit.
Yes. At one tournament, it's kind of a running joke. A lot of people have heard me talk about this, but he made the joke of now that we're married, like I'm a Harris Simchuk now, so I got to be a good bowler. So if I bowl bad, then I'm a Drew again. But then I was chatting with someone at the Beef Bowl, and they had said that if he bowls bad, then he has to become a Drew. So I think that's my motivation going forward, is that I want to beat him so that he has to take my last name.
That's good. That's a little bit more motivation than a Slurpee or a coffee.
Yeah.
That might work.
Oh,
As you drink your Slurpee.
yeah, as he
It's all
drank-
melted.
Yeah.
It's all melted.
It's not
but
even a
it is
Slurpee
Slurpee.
anymore.
Just pop.
I have too many of those.
Oh my.
I am gonna give another reminder out. I don't think a marble race with 2 people is gonna be that fun. So if anyone else wants to enter the giveaway, comment right now. There's 20 people in here.
Christian, Ashton, who are your guys' picks for winning?
Just because I have to leave like right now, don't mind if I do. I've been studying the entry spreadsheet for a couple minutes here, just so I can
Right.
get myself a So Matt Houston's first time out to TPC. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's gonna come show all the WCBT bowlers who's up or what's up.
All right.
He's always
performing.
Yep.
Ashton, you got any picks here?
Honestly,
It's gonna be just like his ordering at Denny's.
what's that supposed to mean? I'm not picking a bourbon bacon burger to win the TPC.
No. I mean you always get like the waiters always look at you for you to order first, and then you're
I make everyone else.
Isaac.
That's what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
Isaac, who do you think's gonna win?
I think there's already been 2 Wisemans that won. I think after last year, there's going to be another one. Dexter's already won. Tim's already won. So my bets, I'm thinking maybe one of their parents, maybe Wendy. I think I'm going to take.
I think that's
Is
Who
she bowling a
knows?
shift?
I don't know, but I think I have Wendy coming TPC champ and then holding it over both of her kids' head for a year.
Yep. Not to interrupt, but I do need to
Alright.
go to physio now. So
Right, audios.
good
Christian.
luck for the rest of the show. Thank you everyone for listening to me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, buddy.
Bye.
I'll just be boring. I'll go with Ryland to win it. I think. Yeah, I think he'll go deep, at least. But yeah, especially
what?
with or either Ryland or Brandon, the 2 frames of shame that. Because Brandon's been is he averaging a 2? I remember Tim was
282
talking
in
about
league
282
right
right now in league, and Ryland as well. Every time I watch him in league, he's crazy. So
Well, a broken collarbone didn't even stop him, so he can't be stopped.
yeah, that's true. I think
Yeah,
he's
no,
100% healthy now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be a fun weekend to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kayla, we said we'd only hold you for like 15 to 20 minutes. Just before we say goodbye, I do want to know.
Unless she wants to stay.
Yeah,
unless
if you want to stay and hang out with Carter and with
totally
us,
free.
you can. But I do want to know, who's your favorite Wiseman? That is the question of the night. You're getting
Only
put
important
on,
one.
Yeah, you're getting put on the spot. Dexter is guaranteed watching. Who is your favorite Wiseman?
Obviously, Scott.
Okay, that's a solid pick.
That's the right answer.
Yeah,
That's the right answer. Perfect. Alrighty.
perfect. Thank you.
Are we bringing in our second guy?
Yes, I will bring Carter in. here.
Okay. I will stay for a little bit longer.
All
Carter
right.
and
We
I
have
bowled
that.
Autumn Open together. So
All right. Yeah, here. I'll bring
Right.
them in right now.
We have to answer too, Isaac.
Oh, okay. I can answer as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go Scott as well. I feel like
The consensus is Scott.
yeah, I think the consensus.
Carter, welcome to the podcast. Who's
yeah,
your
Carter,
favorite
you
wise
came.
man?
Yeah,
Hi.
just the perfect question to
That's
start off.
That's a really loaded question to ask right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I can't really pick one. I'd probably still have to say Wendy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
we
also
go.
a very solid pick.
I've known Tim and Dexter though. I bowled against them when I was a youth bowler, so I've known them for a long time. And yeah, they're both okay.
Both
just okay. They're just okay.
Just okay.
Okay, well, Carter, as I told you when we asked you to come on, the theme of the night is having bowlers that still enjoy coming out to events, even though they aren't often making cuts. I know you made a very good run
Awesome.
up in Dawson this year.
Yeah.
So, let's start with that. How was that?
It was a really validating weekend for me. I generally come out to these tournaments, and these past few years I haven't done very well, but I still like to come and support them. And I love playing out in Dawson Creek. If you've never been there, it's probably my favorite center to play at because of the owners, the way the lanes play, and I'm just always have a good time there. So the whole weekend, I really wanted to make the cut, and when I did, my goal was just to make it past the first round. And for a second there, when I started, it didn't look like it, but I hung on. And then it was just really nice that I didn't give up on myself. And it felt great to take it all the way to the end. Wasn't the result, obviously, I had wanted, but I was still really proud of myself.
Oh yeah, it was a great run. And
Who was your first matchup again?
Brett Mapstone.
And he
We
chose
bowled
you,
Brett?
right?
together. No, he picked me.
Did he choose
and
you?
I knew
Yeah.
he was going to as well because we bowled. We bowled together in the shift we qualified, and I had a great start, and then I had a not so great finish. So I was like, well, that's fine. And then the next morning, it didn't even take him a second. As soon as they asked who his pick was, it was me, and I was like, great.
And then you
But
kicked his ass.
yeah, and you
He hasn't
smoked
been
them.
doing a lot of winning lately. That's
Yeah, but it wasn't. So out of 5
He's
games,
gonna come for you, Ashton.
out of 5 games,
Oh, I
though,
know. That's fine.
he beat me 4 times. My second game is the only thing that saved me.
Yeah.
I made a ball change because I had a blister on my finger, and that was the only game I had that beat him. But every other game he beat me, so I'm really glad it was total pinfall and not match play.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have a good laugh with him afterwards, or what was his mood afterwards?
I don't really like. I mean, obviously he wasn't jazzed because he wasn't moving on. I mean, nobody would be, but it's Brett.
Mm.
I've played tournaments against him and with him before, and he's always just very Brett. I don't really know how else to say it.
Fair.
Yeah,
Very one emotion.
he was fine. Shook hands, said great bowling. He's like, well, guess that's it for me. And then him and Dexter skedaddled.
Right.
It's a
Oh, yeah,
decently
Dexter
long
got
drive.
destroyed too.
Hmm?
Dexter got destroyed too. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was really glad I didn't get matched up with Sasha. Like, just every shot out of his hand, you're like, oh, there's another one. I'm like, well, this is great. I felt great about my second game, and I was like, sweet, this is gonna be a good day. And then Sasha just blows it out of the water the next game. I'm like, thanks. I had one.
Is that, I know it was a little bit ago, but is that a big confidence booster for this weekend? If you're bowling this weekend?
I'm not going to be at the
You're not,
TPC,
okay.
sadly. No. From the end of September until this past weekend, I think I've had 1 weekend off of bowling, and I'll be rooting for everyone from afar. But my mindset going into every weekend is usually the same.
Fair.
Do you set like
consistent.
score goals for you, or do you just do?
Not really. Like when I go, I play my own game and I take it one frame at a time. My mental game has always been to just keep it without giving myself that expectation where I have to meet a certain a certain mark each time.
You sound like the first person on our podcast tonight who shouldn't be at the Barber Mental Fortitude Conference.
Yeah, I've I don't really know about how my mental game might stack up and how people see it, but I can go and play against 200 people, and my own game doesn't affect how they do, and how they do doesn't affect me, because at the end of the day, I can only do what I can. Like in Dawson, I felt fantastic, and I didn't give up on myself, and I kind of had a pep talk every frame that was rough. I said, it's okay, you've been doing great all day, just keep it up. Like when Robert beat me the first 2 games in the final matchup, I just said, hey, you know what, if the 3rd game's it, that's it, but you still got here. So I just moved forward, took him to the last game. So that's my mindset every time I go into a tournament. Am I happy when I don't do great? No. But I'm like, hey, that's okay, it happens, we move on.
Definitely a good mindset going into events.
I have to be, just because I generally I travel a lot by myself. I do try and do what cash tournaments I can, and I do masters. Last year there was a few of us that did it. This year though, it's me by myself, and I was happy with how I did at the first tournament, and then the Autumn Open didn't go so great.
Yeah,
A
we had a
lot,
rough
lot of
time,
that,
hey?
lot of that going around in this podcast.
That was just it was a great donation made on our part.
You had fun at the Open though, right?
I always have fun. Autumn Open's the first cash tournament I ever tried out and did, and I always enjoy going because it's just has a lot of great memories and positivity for me. It was the first major cash tournament I made a cut at, and that was an amazing feeling. And it's the only major cash tournament in Alberta that I've made a cut at. So hooray!
Until Heritage this year, you're making a run. I have a feeling if you're coming down.
Yeah.
You got this. You're making a run at Heritage. Kayla's making a run this weekend. We're guaranteed. You've been on the podcast now. I think it's a guarantee.
We've made it, Kayla. We've made
We're
it.
in. We're in.
We're in.
Your next podcast appearance will be as a champion on like the main podcast. I have a feeling.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. I like that.
Yeah.
Hope it's true.
I'm in.
It will be true.
Oh, 100%. Carter, what's your favorite tournament you've ever done? Youth up to now? Do you have a favorite youth one and then like a favorite adult one?
I always really looked forward to Youth Challenge when I was a youth bowler, just because I liked the format of it. But I only ever medaled once in Youth Challenge when I was competing then, and the only time we ever actually won was actually 4 steps. What I thought was my last year of seniors. So I didn't really have a favorite at the time. Right now, my favorite tournament that I like to go to, cash tournament, I'd still say it's the Autumn Open, but overall I really like going to the local tournaments in Dawson Creek and the ones that we have here. It's just a good crowd and everyone has a good time.
GP is definitely a fun location. Every time I've gone up, I feel the energy and the love.
It's definitely come around in the last 5-6 years, and everyone really supports each other. We've really grown, and it's also great because we have a lot more new people who are coming out and trying stuff, and that's what the goal has been. Like past week we just had the Hafner Classic, and we had 60 teams that can play, and there was 56, so we were almost full.
I don't know, because I think the first time I came up to GP was for that makeshift tournament.
The Scotch doubles?
Yeah, the Scotch doubles one. And I don't know, from that weekend,
that was a good time.
Yeah.
It was so hot in the bowling alley, but I'll never forget because I think Rylan and Brandon played together. And Rylan was bowling on lane 1, and he threw 4 sets of aces in a row. So every time when he lived here last year and we played on that set in league, it was always like, anytime he had to play on lane 1. And he still got them. He still had a few great sets of aces and still haunts him to this day.
It was always like a perfect shot too, and the two pins just didn't even want to budge.
That's HJ's.
Oh yeah.
It's better than it used to be. It used to be absolutely brutal. Kayla, did you ever play here when we held Youth Challenge here
Yeah.
15 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was brutal. I remember
15.
Yeah, that
My
was my
God.
first youth challenge.
it was
You don't actually
2009. We had 2 houses, so we
I
could
was
host it still.
4.
I was 6. Holy.
Yep. Oh no.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
children. They're children.
Sometimes
yeah.
you can just like stop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yes, that was my first youth challenge. Was at Grand Prairie.
It was the time.
There hasn't
we-
been a youth challenge at Grand Prairie in a while, has there?
No, the last youth challenge that was hosted in North was 10 years ago. It was 2014 in Lakeland.
Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just because we have 2 houses that are 12 lanes in the entire North area, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, speaking about YBC in these youth tournaments, Kim had a good question here. Obviously, a lot of the future of these bigger tournaments are the YBC bowlers. Would you guys, obviously you see the question here, what would be your advice to these YBC bowlers
I think my
if you see
biggest
that
thing
question?
is to stop comparing yourself to the people that you see who have consistent success, because what you didn't see outside of that is the work that they put in. It comes down to how much you want out of it. And I tell this to a lot of the new bowlers who really want to improve and get there. And we have a lot of new bowlers here who have put in work and that they come out and do more. But you have to realize that anyone's capable. There's no way that pitting yourself against some of the more successful bowlers in history is going to help you improve unless you put in that work. So you have to remind yourself that you can do what you can do, and you have to leave them off. You can admire and respect them, but you're your own player.
Yeah, I would say, because I still struggle with this as an adult sometimes. I bowl with a lot of amazing players in my leagues, and it's really tough because I know that with certain tournaments, those are the people I have to catch. But with Sunday nights, like our match play league, I'm just trying to like focus on myself. So when you go up there, if your opponent throws a strike, whatever, like you just need to take a breath, focus on the things that you need to do, and try and just like compartmentalize almost. Like it's not that you're playing for a match. You're just trying to look at yourself and the things that you're doing. And honestly, watching better bowlers made me also a better bowler. I know that feels weird because it's like, well, who wants to watch bowling? But I learned a lot watching the people around me bowl who are very, very consistent. So that's what I would say. But the big thing is just like the focus on yourself. Take that deep breath. And honestly, you can ask the people around you, hey, can you just watch me throw this ball and see if there's anything?
Yeah, definitely a lot of the higher level bowlers are always happy to help with that stuff. Except Tim. Don't ask Tim.
He'll just give you a bit of.
Yeah. Like Jenna, for example, was watching me on the stream during Autumn Open, and I was struggling. I was like missing right. And then she goes, your first step is too fast. And then I slowed down that first step, and then all of a sudden I hit a 4-bagger. So like, it's not going to happen every time, but if you have people that have seen you watch and can help you, sometimes it works to listen to them. And I know as a teenager, like the last thing I wanted to do was like listen to the people watching me bowl, but
yeah. And also, like, if you're struggling, you have to remember, and I think this goes for everybody who's played, when you're struggling, you're like, what can I do? Sometimes there's no quick fix for anything. It just play your shot, throw the ball, okay, and be kind to yourself, because everyone has rough days. Even some of the best in the history of the sport have had rough days. So it comes down to don't compare yourself to what other people are doing.
And it's not like the end of the world if you throw a bad game. That was another thing, is like I would throw a bad game and I'm thinking about that bad game for like the next 3 games. And then guess what? Those games also suck. And so kind of just being kind to yourself, as Carter said, and just giving yourself that like fresh start. Like it's a new game. It's maybe a new set.
Yep.
And we're just going to ignore what happened and throw a new game.
Exactly.
You just gotta move on. And since you guys both said you enjoy sometimes watching bowling, do you guys have like a favorite person to watch? Because I know a lot of the people I've talked to who are like super fast paced and rush a lot of stuff. Also, like the guys who throw nice slow shots. And do you guys have like a favorite person to watch?
I have a few personally, just because it's the same ball. But one of my favorites actually is Kelsey Wilton.
Mhm.
Just because Kelsey, when I remember one of the first opens I participated in, I think it was in Sherwood Park in 2015. She played anchor for the Calgary Ladies, and when she's untouchable. It's just makes her opponents have to work that much harder, and it looks so effortless. And I absolutely love watching her play. I also really enjoy watching Greg DeGrazia bowl. He throws the same ball each time. And he just comes off. He'll throw, like when he threw his perfect game at the doubles at the Autumn Open, just kind of casually went, "Oh yeah, 10 in a row."
Yeah.
Easy.
Just easy. No big deal.
No
It's
biggie.
natural.
Yep.
For me, and this is probably actually just because I watch her bowl so much, because we bowled together on Sundays and we bowled together on Thursdays, but Jenna Lamoureux throws such an effortlessly easy looking ball. Like it's so foundational, I feel. Her timing is always right. Her finish is always right. And it's just always right up the middle. And she gets such good push on it that, like, if I were to look at, like, the women around me, she would be one that I'm like, wow, like, I wish I could emulate that. Like, I don't throw the same ball as her, but that's one of the ones that I wish I could emulate.
You wish it could be as effortless each
yes,
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And another one would be my sister-in-law, Katie Rayner. Like, she just, and you can I watched her enough that, like, I know the teeny thing kind of that if she's off, like, what can put her back on. But watching her at the women's tournament at Diamond Ladies this past year was like, she was so locked in. It looked like she could do no wrong. And just watching that was like inspirational to an effect, like, not to be cheesy or anything, but just watching how effortlessly and mentally she was focused on her every shot, whether it was a spare shot or she was going to clean up her wood. It was really good. Really, really good.
Are you doing the women's invitational?
No.
No, you're not. Okay. I thought I
You should.
No.
What, Kayla, you should.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Next year.
We're getting
next
there.
year.
We're getting there. Maybe. We're working on a few things right now. So we're in this kind of like funky. We make some changes. We're trying to get to the flow of those changes. And
And when you're making changes to your game, Kayla, like, what is it that you're working on right now, if you don't mind me asking?
so this was, and actually I kind of talked with Dexter at the Beef Bowl. I used to throw a backup, and like I got quite a decent amount of movement on my ball, but that was because I dumped the ball like bad.
Donkey shot, right?
Yeah,
To the
it was a
ground,
dumpy
you're
shot.
like, yep,
It was
okay.
a dumpy shot. And now, like, the past, like, probably halfway through last season, I really started to focus on like throwing the ball out. Now, my problem that I ran into is that as I consistently started to throw the ball out more, I lost a lot of my movement. So now I got into this weird space where I felt like uncomfortable. And I was just like pushing through me bowling uncomfortable. I felt it at the Beef Bowl. I felt it at the Open last year when he tried out, because I'm like, I would hit a spot on the lane and I'm like, oh, that's going to back up wonderfully into the pocket. But I haven't had it back up for like months now. So now at one point I was talking with Dexter and I was just like, we either need to figure out how I can get my backup back, or I just need to buck up and try and embrace the straighter shot. And that's what I did. And it feels a lot more comfortable now. My average has gone up about 10-ish points from last year, which is wonderful. But we still
played-
have like some things to iron out. Like I'm not very good at making adjustments. So
You played really great at the Beef Bowl, though.
Yeah.
Like I was really happy to see you play. I think you played 2 shifts, and you played 2
did,
shifts
yeah.
at the Autumn Open, and I just love that because all of these people who like sit at that one spot and they don't come out and try. It's kind of hard because they're like, well, I want to get better. I'm like, the more you do, the more you will.
Mhm.
And I know when I go to these tournaments, my chances of doing well are all up to me. I don't set those heavy expectations on myself. I just like to participate. And
Mhm.
if I'm struggling, I tend to work on one thing at a time, because if I do too much, then I'm a complete mess, as we all know.
the mental blender, you can hop in with me.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, like the big thing for me is I started doing them obviously because 8 games on one shift and then 8 games the next day is as close to like the 10 and 10 that you'll get for the open. And so I did it for the physical thing, but now like mentally, that's where I'm like, okay, now I've hit a spot where I might need to grind through some games. And so trying to turn those like 160s into 190s or 200s for me. But by doing that, like with the changes that I've made, it's going a lot better. I feel a lot better. I'm scoring a little bit better. And like Carter, you could probably see this because I feel like you've seen me like at Green and Gold a few years as well. Like when I was
Or,
not bowling
Youth
well,
Challenge and
or Youth
bowling all
Challenge.
these past years. Yeah.
Yeah, when I
You
like
played
wasn't
great.
when I wasn't scoring well, it was like a few years ago, it was because I was missing. Like I was just
Yeah.
straight up bad. And like this year, I feel like even though I threw like a 1694, like my middle hit percentage was a lot higher than it has been. And so
yeah.
just that part of the game as well and how I've improved in that respect is great. Like I'm not there yet. I still need some work to do, but
Yeah, but
it's better
focus
than
on
just
what
missing.
focus on what you did well, right? Rather than focus on what didn't go well.
Yeah.
As I tell a lot of the bowlers who've come into like playing more tournaments, doing like the IP or teaching masters, don't focus on what's happened, okay? Because you can't go back and fix it. Focus on what you have done well and use that to motivate yourself to continue doing well. Okay, because Kayla, like you played really great at the Beef Bowl. I remember being a few lanes over from you, and I'm like, look at her go! Like she's playing great. She's hitting. She's right there. So you can see the work that you've put in to your game, and even at the Autumn Open, I'm gonna like when we played together, it was a rough day. Like I was like, oh wow, yay, that was a good push, excellent. I throw the same ball next frame, split. Oh, it was definitely a grind, but you have to find those things that you did do well. And like I said, myself, if I'm doing well, even if I have a rough frame, I have to tell myself, this is what I've been doing well. Everyone's allowed to have those, rather than sit there and negative self-talk, hit things. Just find what went well. Find that positive aspect.
Yeah. And sometimes you just have to laugh it off. Like I think that my second day, I threw like a 311 on stream. Like I was riding high. And then the next game I followed up with like a $130, $132 or something like that. And like
At least the big one was on camera.
Yep.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
that
the big
was
one was on camera. The low one doesn't matter. It didn't even happen because it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, I just got into like I panicked, I think is exactly what happened. But like 2 years ago, maybe even last year, like I would have been in tears. I would have been like, oh my God, I just threw a $130. But I just like laughed it off. Like it happens. We're done.
Yeah.
Move on to the next game. And that's really all you can do because it's your world does not begin and end with a game of bowling. So
it's just bowling.
It's just bowling.
Whoa,
unless you're
controversial
Christian.
take.
Like
Okay.
you want to do really well. I get it. I go out there and I want to do well so bad that I think sometimes it's at my detriment. But
I don't
that's
think anybody
something I'm
goes out there and
working through.
says, today I want to do terrible.
I want to do awful.
Yeah.
But I bet I would loosen up a little if I said.
This past
What
weekend
was
was the
that?
same for me. I'd throw like a solid game. I'd be like, yeah, I had like a 280. Oh, this is fantastic. 180 next game. Oh, next game after that, 280. Fantastic. $170. Why am I like this? Last night for league, start with like a 3, and then I had a $180, and I was like, oh, why am I like this? On my last game, another 3. I'm like, I just
Bowling's
that's
just a
the song
giant
and
roller
dance.
coaster.
Yeah.
Really toys with my emotions there. Woohoo! I'm doing great. Then I'm not doing so great.
consistency is definitely a big thing when you're doing, especially qualifying for the Open, where it's 20 games. You can't afford to have a mid-tier bad game every other game. But
Right, but you can have that one rough game in the
yeah,
middle of 20, right? It's not a race,
Yeah,
it's a
for sure.
marathon.
Mhm.
So when you have those bad games after a string of like 7 great ones, again, it comes down to being kind to yourself and to those young bowlers who have a great day and then they show up and have a not so great day to follow up. It happens, right? But you have to pick yourself up and move on.
Special announcement from Christian. He had needles put in him, and it went well. If anyone was wanting to know, physio's
There we
going great.
go. There
Physio's
we
going
go.
great. Perfect. All right. Have you guys had any like physio or anything done? Have you had any like injuries from bowling?
Not from bowling. Not from bowling.
No, now that I'm rather aged, I do have like some back problems, so I go see the chiropractor, and that's about it.
How is it that the two people that are barely 18 are both falling apart and being crippled
Again,
by
I said
bowling?
because we're built like twigs.
That's
But
true.
you guys bounce
That's
back
true.
quick at that age. Like
I
you're
don't
fine.
think they
Do they? Do they?
I've been having knee
don't.
problems for a good 2 years. But yeah,
Have you
again, we're
seen the
starting. We're
physio
starting.
for
I saw what I thought was physio, but was chiro.
it?
And
Mm.
I think my mom, because she she hurt her ankle bad, so she's been going to physio. She was having a talk with him about like my knee problems for a bit, and he was like, "Yeah," or she, whoever it is, was like, "Yeah, tell him to come see me." And apparently, it's like 2-3 hour sessions, maybe not that long, but like of just like hard massages and exercising and stuff. So I think she's gonna ask the person tomorrow about a consultation, and we'll see how that goes. We're gonna start really working on it, but hopefully by the end of start of the next year, the knee problems I'm having will tone it down a bit, because right now it's very painful to bowl, especially 8 games every Sunday because I have the 2 leagues.
I
Yeah.
see that. I see Rob asked a question there. If either you or
Yes.
Isaac are bowling this weekend.
I am.
Woohoo.
I'm throwing
not.
tomorrow morning.
One shifter, Isaac. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
solid 2150. Just be like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, no big
Casual
deal.
walk-in.
If I bowl like I did on Sunday night, that's probably possible.
You bowled well
2300.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bowled okay.
I think you might need to make another bet with Brett.
No, because there's more
It's
money
an
on the line.
agreement.
Brett will. Yeah, an agreement. We don't bet.
Oh,
I
yeah, the
don't
Monopoly
think
money.
it would be
No.
wise to make an agreement
Yep,
with Brett.
Monopoly
on this
money
weekend.
indeed.
Yeah.
Kayla,
Mhm.
are you going to do the Diamond Ladies again this year?
I am. Yeah.
Good.
I love that tournament.
I
I
think
don't know.
it's.
The atmosphere is just so different. It's just
Uh,
very different.
I just love how it's tailored to really highlighting the exceptional ladies that play the sport.
Mhm.
And it really encourages others to go out and play, because there's a lot of ladies even here who are like, I can't compete with the men, and I'm like, that's not true.
Nope.
I've got a few up and coming new bowlers who've just been started in the past 2 or 3 years, and people who came back after COVID, and they want to do more. They come and try out for stuff. They participate in local tournaments, and I really want to push a few of them to try and go down this year to play, even if it's on the POA side. I'm really trying to get my mom to play, because she came back to bowling last year, and I said, it's POA, it's fine, let's just go have a good time, like, why not? And she's like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm like, it's POA. I said, it levels the playing field, give it a shot.
And honestly, like the crowd that goes to this tournament, and like this is also right up there for one of my favorites, because it's like, yes, we're all competing against each other, but the amount of support that you get from everyone is it is so wonderful. That the women are just there, and they're like, oh, they're on a 5-bagger. They're like right there behind you, cheering you
girl,
on.
get
Like,
it.
it doesn't matter what city you're from, what province you're from. Like, we're all there because we love bowling, and just being together and having each other's support. It just made that tournament, like last year was so amazing with with the work that like Stacy and the Alley did, and that is one tournament that I probably will not go to. Like that's one that I'm going to try to go to every single year, because one thing is like, yeah, maybe I do have a little bit of a better chance, but like it's still hard to make a cut. You still have to bowl incredibly well, because the women that goes to these tournaments are such amazing bowlers. So
Right.
it's just another way that like you can better yourself in maybe an environment that you do feel a little bit more comfortable or confident in, because of the atmosphere that's built at that tournament. But
I think this is one of those key moments for 5-pin to really make it to its next level, is to find that highlighted tournament to put support out to a demographic that may believe they can't compete, even though that's not even true, not even close to true.
Yeah.
You
And we have Katie doing the main invitational. The only is Michaela's doing the women's. Is she doing the women's or the
Yes.
main?
she's doing the
The
women.
Okay, I
women's,
thought she was doing
yeah.
yeah, right.
Katie
okay.
is
But yeah,
doing the only.
is that the first time
main-
we've had a woman go in that tournament, or has there been past years? I don't
I
remember.
think Jen Schwartz bowled it. I believe.
Hmm.
Pretty sure Jen did it. I feel like there was another. I feel like there was somebody else. When did the invitational start? I feel like it was still when Sherwood Park was wood. So I feel like it's been like 7-8 years since they started doing the invitational.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Katie can go on a deep run in that. I think that would be fun to watch.
You know what? She's been bowling
can.
incredibly well, and
Yeah.
I think she'll go far in the tournament. Especially like she's been making so many cuts at these cash tournaments. Like I feel like it's almost rare that she doesn't make a cut now. So
Right. Yeah, no,
Definitely.
this weekend has a lot of interesting, fun events that will be.
Oh, here we
Katie
go.
has some. Here we go. Here's a few people that have done it.
Baker. You guys mentioned the POA side of the Diamond Ladies. Do you either of you do POA events like IP or anything?
I haven't. I used to do teaching masters, but there's a point where it's like my average and getting to a point for myself where doing teaching masters kind of caused my skill level to stagnate a little bit. Personally, like my mental game, my ability to enjoy myself during, not to say that it's not hard and that it's not a challenge. It's still really difficult. The higher your average, obviously, you have to play well. But I used to do that, and I said to myself, the next step I really need to take would be to move on to doing the scratch format. And I really enjoy it. I actually look forward to it each year. Do I do well? I show up.
Have fun.
Have a great time.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I have not bowled any POA tournaments. My average is one of those, like I'm kind of sitting at like just below 230. I think I'm like at 228 in Sunday nights, which is like really great for me. But also I feel like if I were to go in that at my mental state, I would be like, you have to beat your average. You have to beat your average. You have to beat your average. So for me, like when I go out to these cash tournaments, I'm just there and saying like, oh, let's just focus on throwing a good ball. But I don't know. Maybe I think like the closest I come to are handicap tournaments. Like I do green and gold, which kind of you do kind of have to beat your average. But I don't know. We've done the hybrid tournament. Sherwood Bowl had the hybrid tournament for a few years, and that was kind of a fun one. One was like a POA bowler, and one was the scratch bowler. I don't think they did it last year though. But
I don't think I saw anything about that one last year, but we are around our hour mark, so I think we are gonna just wrap.
I do want to know. We talked
oh.
about this earlier. I just had a question, Isaac. Who's your favorite bowler to watch?
Just because not just how they throw the ball and everything, it's also the energy they have off the lanes. I gotta give it to Tom. Tom Tompkins,
Oh.
man. He's just so
Okay.
energetic. He's just like a ball of pure energy. No matter what time I see him, if I run into him at a hotel and it's like 2 a.m, he's still bouncing off the walls. Like it's
Tom,
just his energy on those lanes and the
I've known-
cellies and everything.
I've known Tom since he was like 6-7 years old. I grew up bowling with Robert, Tom, and Sean, and they are all vastly different in terms of personality. And Tom has enough energy for an entire contingent. It's incredible. But last week, he bowls a lot. Like he bowls 2 or 3 times a week, and over the summer, like in any time he can go and get an extra games, he does. So his work speaks for itself. He's done amazing. But last week he threw a 433. All of those shots were fantastic. It honestly should have been a PG. He got roasted on the one corner for his 11th, but it was an absolute great shot. And then just last night, casually throws like almost a 900, just under 9. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. Just having a great time. And he's always just happy to be there. And all weekend during the Hafner Classic, anytime he bowled with somebody, he's always really supportive and always really tries to bring that energy to his team. And yeah, I'm excited to see how Tom does on his circuit this year. I'm really hoping that he makes a couple cuts and does another run. I'd love to see that.
Oh yeah, I think it would be good, and just the energy on those lanes. I remember the first time I ever met anyone on the North team was the Open Provincials at Bonnie Doon. And just seeing some of like Tom would throw a strike, turn around and be like, that one was on the live stream, and then just run off the lane. And
That's
it's like
such a Tom thing to say. That was his rookie year.
yeah,
So-
no, I know, with his little blue hard hat.
Yep. And it was kind of his it was like his second year back to bowling, and it was his first year really trying to get into doing more and more. And I remember thinking, like, our rookie has a lot of energy and he's really good. I'm really hoping he can rein it in a little bit so that he can at least be putting his ball in the right spot, be making sure that he's finishing his shot. And sure enough, he lit it up all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fantastic introduction for Tom.
Oh yeah, it was great. Loved that weekend.
Yeah.
But
I personally did not love my own bowling that weekend. That was a choice weekend for me, but I was there and I had a good time. And that was the first time we actually had Alvin from Lloyd coaching us, and he was fantastic. So I really hope to see him putting his name back in this year.
perfect.
Kayla's dog has been there wanting attention for a little while now. He's been
My dog
creeping in
just
the
came.
bottom corner.
Feels so bad.
My furry
He's like,
potato
"Aren't you
just
letting me?"
my furry potato just rolled on down the stairs here. She can't come say hello, and now she's leaving because I didn't give her any kind of attention. So
Unfortunate.
How can you say
There's
no?
bigger things happening.
So sweet.
we're talking about bowling. Sorry, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Well, we
Alrighty.
are at that just over the hour mark, so I would like to thank both of you for coming on. I very much enjoyed the conversations.
Very good.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
having us.
Well,
Yeah.
anytime.
I had a great time. Thanks.
Perfect. Yes, thank you guys very much.
All right. Well,
Thank
good
you.
luck if you guys are playing this weekend. All right. I'll be watching the stats. Kayla, I can't wait for you to throw your casual 2200 and be like, yeah, it's whatever.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's what I like to
whatever.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla, if I can make a cut, you can make a cut. Trust
Okay.
me.
There we
Let's
go.
do
do it.
Everyone
Trust
here
yourself.
believes in you, Kayla. You got this.
In a couple days, I'll get a message like, dude, I actually threw a 2200. I'll be like, yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks.
Have a good
Perfect. Thank
night.
you.
Have a good
Bye.
one,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
I was mistaken. I forgot
Yeah,
about
no.
the giveaway. I was just kidding.
No. So giveaway, we have 4 people entered it right now. So I think we're gonna overrule it. We're bringing it to next month. We're gonna keep the giveaway open for the whole month and until the next podcast. So everyone can keep entering. I don't think starting the entries during the podcast is a great idea. So everyone who's entered right now, you'll still be in it, and then we'll keep the giveaway open until next month, and we'll probably do 2 shirts or something along those lines, at double the prize or something. So yeah. Sorry guys, no marble race today, but it was a little bit of a failure. So
Very sorry. We will see you guys again next month, though.
yeah, we'll be back.
All
All
right.
right, now we can end it.
Okay. Bye.
See you guys later.